I wish I could hit start at all the same time for all three of you, but I can't. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday. I missed you guys last week. We took a little hiatus and now we're back. We're back on Instagram, we're back on Facebook, and we're back on YouTube. So that's super fun. Just occurred to me that I can't see you both. Oh, we're not on YouTube. Hold on. Try to be in too many places at one time. See what happens. So tonight we are going to talk about something. Well, as soon as I can get on YouTube, we're going to talk about something. Maybe. We're going to try. We're going to try. How are y'all? How are y'all? Where are you from? I'd love to know while I'm fixing this. What to do when it's time to work. That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm so glad you're here. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So thanks for joining us. My name is Allison. I am so glad that you are here. Oh shoot, we're still not on YouTube. We're working on it. Okay. Y'all are saints. You're saints. Okay. Goodness gracious. Erin's here from Charleston, South Carolina. Hi, Erin. Erin's going to be at my house soon. I'm so excited. Hi, friends on Instagram. We're on Instagram tonight and on YouTube and on Facebook. Are we on YouTube now? No. I'm on YouTube tonight. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe we won't be on YouTube. Appeared to be a large bug. We're going to give it a minute, but I don't know if we're going to be on YouTube or not. It'll be okay. I'll put it over there later. So I'm so glad to see you guys. If it's your first time joining us for Online Steps to Success, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. That's enough of my stalling, isn't it? Too much stalling tonight. We are going to be talking about something I use very regularly in my business that I hope is going to be super helpful to you, called the Power Hour. And the Power Hour is a tool to help you work smarter and make more money, which is part of our goal here at Online Steps to Success. If it's your first time, my name is Allison. I'm so glad that you're here. Our goal with this weekly video is to hopefully teach you something we've been learning about, something that's been helping our business, but also to help you dream bigger dreams, work smarter, not necessarily harder, and make more money with your business. So I'm glad that you're here. So happy to see your faces again tonight because we took a week off. So we were 2 weekends ago in Chicago for a little retreat with some leaders, and that was amazing. And honestly, one of the things we're going to talk about tonight wasn't an idea there, but just it started a conversation with a lot of people about what do I do when it's actually time to work. So I'm going to give you some tools tonight that I hope that you'll immediately implement and be able to use when you have a block of time that you can devote to your business. So we met with some consultants and leaders in Chicago. So hi to Chicagoland. We had a great time there. It was amazing. And now we're home. But last weekend we had people in our home, also amazing. And we did some strategy sessions and had a really great time. So, but tonight we're going to talk about the Power Hour. I feel a little bit off my game because I took a week off. Maybe like I forgot how to do this. Is that true? Now would be the time to tag your friends or your family or your teammates and let them know that we're learning about the Power Hour tonight. YouTube's not working. Oh well, we're going to give up on it. We're doing it. It's okay. So let's get started. Hi, Shannon. Hope you're doing well tonight. Okay. So the Power Hour is something that I learned from my sweet friend, Amy Mitchell, years and years and years ago. And it is basically a simple tool to help you be efficient and effective. So what is the Power Hour? Now, I don't even remember if this is exactly how Adi taught it to me. The concept is pretty simple, that when it's time to work, you have a concrete plan of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Even if you have as little as an hour, the other thing you can do is you can cut this in half, and even if you only have 30 minutes, you can do this. Even if you are that stay-at-home mama, or you are working, maybe you're working your full-time job and you're building your business on the side, this is something you can do in 10-minute increments at a time. So maybe on your break or a little bit during your lunch period, you can absolutely implement the Power Hour in broken up time slots. So it's broken up in 6 increments of 10 minutes each, obviously, to get us to an hour. So we are going to rock through this, and I'm going to give you some suggestions. Now, here's something I want you to understand. The Power Hour is a tool. Hi, Jennifer. It's a tool to help you be more efficient and more effective. I hear all the time from consultants, I don't even know what to do when it is time to work. Like, I don't even know what to do when it is time to run my business. And that's not a good place to be. We want you to know exactly what to do when you have those pockets of time to work your business. Because we all know that consistency is what will create momentum in your business. So, the Power Hour. Are you ready? If you're taking notes, it would be a good day to take notes. So 6 10-minute sessions. So I'm going to break down the sessions for you and tell you what each of them is about. And then we will go backtrack and I'll give you some ideas that may work for you in each little session. So your first 10-minute session. Now, here's the other thing I want to say about this. My advice when you have time to sit down and work is to keep your social media stuff to the very end. So if you need to interact on a team page or a VIP group, or you need to post on social media, I would say that is always put at the very, very, very end of your Power Hour. So it might mean some of these things you might be wanting to do on social media, but I'm going to ask you to push them to the end of your Power Hour. I promise you'll be more efficient. So there was Brian walking by the door. This is a weird angle. I've never really sat at this angle before. Y'all are seeing all kinds of rando stuff back there. Oh yeah, and I'm backwards for what I usually am, huh? Usually you can see the other side of the office. So if you're like, where are you? This is where I am. You're looking the other way tonight. So 10 minutes at a time, we are going to cover 6 different areas of business. The first one is all going to have to do with your sales. So when you first sit down, say, I've got 1 hour to work. It might be nap time. It might be your lunch hour at work, whatever. I've got an hour to work. The first thing I want you to focus on is sales. So I also, if it's possible, put your phone away. What, baby? The transformer. You're going to have to ask Dad. Okay, I'll help you find it in just a minute, okay? I will, I promise. Apparently I'm supposed to be looking for a transformer. So the first thing I want you to focus on is sales. So 10 minutes at a time. Y'all are it's really blurry. I wonder if this is why YouTube is mad at me. I think maybe my internet hates me today. You think? Probably so. It doesn't look blurry over here. That's no good. Has it been blurry the whole time? I'm trying to figure out if we've been blurry the whole time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to be blurry. Hey, black sheep scent lady. Thanks for saying my hair looks beautiful. I appreciate that. Oh, I forgot. Y'all haven't seen my hair. I went darker. Those of you that watch every week, yes, I'm usually. It's better now? I didn't do anything. Okay, great. I don't know. I don't know why I was like that. Who knows? Internet. I blame the internet. Okay. Let's just start over because I feel like I got off track. So, Power Hour, your first 10 minutes, you're going to spend devoted to sales. The second 10 minutes, you're going to spend devoted to team connection. We're going to go back and I'm going to give you some specifics in each one of these. The third 10 minutes, you're going to spend devoted on connecting with potential new recruits. The fourth 10 minutes, you are going to work on adding to your list. Because remember, we talk all the time about how this is a list building business. The fifth 10 minutes, you're going to spend on personal growth. And then the sixth, your last 10-minute chunk, you're going to spend on social media. Okay, so let's break that down. Let's go back. Number one, we were going to spend on sales. So things that you could do. And here's what I do when I sit down to do a power hour. The goal of this is to be consistent in all areas of your business, even when you only have a small amount of time. Now, you don't have to do this every day if you're not working your business every day, but you absolutely could. Even if it's something, I was talking with a consultant last weekend, and she's like, I can honestly say, like, probably right now in my life and my business, I think I can commit 2 hours a week to my business. Okay, great. Let's make sure that they count, right? Let's make sure that they actually are efficient and I'm not just wasting time. So the power hour is one of the ways that we make sure that the time that you're spending on your business really, really counts, okay? So if you're going to spend your first 10 minutes on sales, working on increasing your sales, a few things you could do. This would be a great time to reconnect with your customers. If you're using something like the Maven app, that is a fantastic. If you're using some other kind of customer relation management tool, I know some of you are using an email service, whatever it is, however you're staying connected or following up with your customers, this is the time that you would want to reach out. So maybe you're reaching out to people who ordered recently, or you want to check in and see how people are doing with their newest order, whatever it might look like. This might also be the time that you're entering orders. If you need to place orders, you need to check in with hosts or anything like that, this would be the time to do that. If you are someone who is working on creating email campaigns for your customers, this would be a time to add another quick email to your email campaign. We are going to talk a little bit more about email marketing in the coming weeks and how email is not dead as much as you want it to be. But those are some ideas of things that you could do in that first 10 minutes when we're really focused on sales. If you don't have anything in the books, it would be a good time to maybe get a party booked, maybe get an event booked, maybe find a networking something. If you're like, I'm bone dry here, this would be a good time to get some things like that on the books. Maribel, we're glad you're here. We don't care if you're late. Yes, Jerry Spry said the Hit 'em Up app to send an educate/entertain/encourage customer text. I love that. So it's so important that we are not just constantly asking for a sale from our customers, but that we are also educating, informing, adding value, maybe even entertaining them. You can do the same thing via email as well. So however you're connecting the first 10 minutes, you're going to knock out some things that have to do with sales, okay? Then the second 10 minutes, we go on to part number 2 of our power hour. We are going to work on team connection. So, oh, and I forgot to preface, if you have been running your business for years and years and years, or if you just started yesterday, this is an incredible, incredible tool to help you stay consistent and to help you stay on track. There have been times in my business where I have sort of like not fallen off, but I've gotten out of like the habit of being really disciplined with my work structure, and the power hour has always helped me like bring it back around and help me get back on track. So, hi Sandra, I miss you too. So the second part of our power hour, we are going to work on team connection. Now, if you don't have a team, that doesn't mean you're not working on team connection. You're still working on team connection. We'll get to that in a second. But if you do have a team, this would be the time that you would post in any sort of community group that you have. If you have a team page, I know many of you are using an app for your team connection. Maybe you're sending a text to your team. I love sending texts to my team. I use Hit 'em Up, just like Jerry mentioned earlier, to text my team members, and it's fantastic. It's a great way to stay connected. It might be a time when you're sharing an idea with team members. Maybe you're helping train somebody that's new to your team. It's also a time you could spend on recognition. Maybe you want to recognize some people for some things that they've done maybe in the past week or the previous month or whatever. Maybe they just were really super helpful to somebody else. This would be the time that you want to spend 10 minutes doing something that has to do with your team. Okay, so part 1 of our power hour was sales. Part 2 is team connection. Part 3, this is where you're going to connect with potential recruits. Oh, back up to part 2. I'm sorry. If you're brand new and you don't have any team members yet, this is the time when you're working on building your team. So, and those of you that do have a team, there's still more time for that later. But if you don't have a team yet, you get to work on it double. So if you don't have anyone on your team yet, this is, or maybe your team's really small, it's like one person and you're like, oh yeah, we talk every day. That's okay. This would be a great time though to work on your list. Who are the people you want to work with, who are people who have reached out to you and possibly mentioned being on your team. If you don't yet have a team, this would be the time that you'd start working on maybe generating some leads for team building, okay? So part 3 is connecting with potential recruits, which is a little bit of what we just talked about. So if you don't have a team, you're gonna basically do this double, because that is how we get exponential growth in this business, is by building a team. That is how you create a lifestyle that you want to live, by building a team, because you can only sell so much, but you can help other people start their own businesses and they too can sell, and then that benefits everybody. Okay, so this is when we're going to connect with potential recruits. So this might be mailing out more information to people who have asked for it. This might be connecting with people via Messenger or via email or going through your list. It is so helpful for you to have a master list of anybody who's ever mentioned the word, hey, I think I might want to be on your team one day, where I've thought about doing that. Anything like that, they better be on a list that you have that you are following up with frequently. Anytime there's a join special, or anytime there's something to share with somebody who might be interested in joining your team, you need to know who those people are and make sure that you're following up. Timing is everything. They may mention it to you, have mentioned it to you a year ago, and you follow up with them now, and maybe timing is right for them. So have a master list. If you don't have one, that's a great place to start, is by creating a master potential team member list. You might be setting up maybe, hey, let's meet for coffee after work on Tuesday. I'd love to chat with you more about this opportunity. I think you'd be a great fit for our team. It might be a time when you're setting up some maybe FaceTimes. We don't want to check for updates right now, Microsoft. Sorry, that was going to kick me off. And then I was looking at your comments. Okay, whatever it may be, you want to spend your third block of 10 minutes focusing on connecting with potential recruits. This is also where we work on building relationships with people that you want to have on your team, all those sorts of things, okay? All right, so the fourth set of 10 minutes in our power hour, we are adding to our list. You hear me say this all the time, and I know that you're like sick of the broken record, but this is a list building business. And what I mean by that is your business will be as strong or as weak as your list is. Your list is your list of contacts. It's the list of people that you know that you're getting to know. And those can be people you actually really know, or people that you know on social media, or through social media, or through groups, or however you have been able to meet and connect with people. But this is the time when you're working on building your list. So ways that you could do that: actively asking your really great customers or your really great hosts for a referral. Hey, I know you love our product. If you could think of a few people that might also love it, or who maybe don't have a great consultant, if you could send them my way, that would be fantastic. I love to offer you something free for that, right? It doesn't have to be anything big, and make sure that it's not something that you're doing in a public setting if you're offering a special, but that it's done privately one-on-one. But that's perfectly fine. You can do things like that. Maybe other ways to build your list would be getting something booked, a party, an event, a networking something. Find some kind of networking group in your area. That might be a really great way to add to your list. Get involved in something that you have interest in doing. Maybe it's joining a gym, joining a mom's group, both things that I have done. Whatever you have to do to build your network, do those things. Also, don't forget that there's so much that can be done online in terms of getting into groups where you have similar interests, meeting people online that are even in your area and even all over the world that may align with the way you want to live your life, the way you're growing your business. Those can be really great resources for you. Ask your customers to share. Maybe this is, you sit down for your power hour tomorrow and you think, you know what would be great if I could get my customers to share pictures of their warmers on my business Facebook page or on my business Instagram page or wherever. And I do a fun little contest for them, and who has the best picture or shares the most warmers in their home, whatever you wanted to do. That's another great way to get your name out, to be networking. Of course, you're going to do that on a one-on-one basis. Say, hey, I would love for you to share your, the way you style your warmers in your home. It's beautiful. If you wouldn't mind sharing and tagging me. That's one way you can increase your followers on Instagram, increase your followers on your Facebook page, whatever. We're always looking to attract people and then convert them eventually, right? Okay. Another great way to add to your list is to start making a working list of ways that you can add value to other people's lives. So this is where we would talk about your skill set. What are the things that you're naturally great at doing? What are ways that you can add value to your customers, to your potential customers, to your potential new team members? When it comes to your brand and your product, how can I add value? Maybe that's you really love styling warmers, so you can add value by making a list. Okay, I'm going to give them some tips for styling product in their house and what it's going to look like. Maybe it's you're going to give great tips for, I don't even know, but you see what I'm saying. Figure out ways that you can add value. That's another way that you can grow your list, by making sure that the things that you're doing online are adding value overall to your customers and potential customers' experience with you. Okay, that was our fourth 10-minute section. Our fifth 10-minute section, we're going to work on personal growth. And I know this is the one that gets skipped all the time because you get busy talking to your customers and you get busy working your business, and then you forget to learn something and take care of you. Listen, this is a personal growth business and you've got to be growing and learning. So maybe your personal growth is watching a training. Maybe it's listening to a podcast. Maybe it's reading a book. And I'm talking 10 minutes. Maybe you are going to spend longer than that doing some personal growth, but I want you to make sure that it's not something you are skipping. The goal in your power hour is to spend 10 minutes of that time learning something new. Things worthwhile learning about right now: online marketing, the best practices when it comes to social media. What else? Email marketing campaigns. What are ClickFunnels? There's so many things. How can I use webinars to grow my business? There's a million ways that you can be growing your business right now with the internet for free or close to free, and you should be learning about them when you can. 10 minutes a day will get you super far when it comes to the things that could be beneficial to your business long term. I want to give you some tips. If you are a podcast listener, I've done this before. I've given you a list. I think what I'll do is probably type all this up tomorrow also and put it over on my blog, and I'll put the link here so you can find it. It might be an easier share for your team if they just want to quickly see the podcast that I recommend or quickly see the books that I recommend. Right now, podcasts that I think are really fantastic for your business. EntreLeadership is really fantastic. The Build Your Tribe podcast, one of my absolute favorites right now. Building a Story Brand, The Road Back to You, The Goal Digger, Goal Digger, Goal Digger, Online Marketing Made Easy, all podcasts that I love. It's just a handful of them, but investing in just a little bit of time of learning something new can be hugely beneficial to your business. Some books that I love right now that I would say are my all-time favorites when it comes to business building: Building a Story Brand. Oh, there it is again. The Road Back to You. Oh, there it is again. The Power of Moments and the 5-Second Rule. Right now, I would say those are my top 4. Should have made it 5, but those are just the top 4 that I could think of that are really going to help you shift your thinking when it comes to your business. So those are all great things. Listen to them if you're not a reader. Get on Audible, or what are the other ones called? Somebody tell me one of the other book things that you can listen to. Can't remember. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Courtney. I cannot wait to chat to you tomorrow. Chat with you tomorrow. Yes, Rock Your Network Marketing Business is fantastic. So is Be a Network Marketing Superstar. Good books. Those are both fantastic too. Oh, and there's a book by Eric Worre called Go Pro that is really, really, really good for just network marketers in general. It's a really fantastic book. So those are some of my recommendations. Scribd. Thank you, Megan. I knew there was another one. Scribd is another audio book service. It's fantastic. So Shelly, I'm going to type it all up, the podcast and the book list, and I'm going to share them over my blog tomorrow, and I will put the link here so you can see it. Okay. All right. Those are some books I recommend. So that was the 5th part of our hour, the 5th 10-minute segment of our hour. The 6th and final 10 minutes of your power hour is when you are going to work on your social media stuff. So social media. First of all, so much to learn, so many ways to do it right, and so many ways to do it wrong. But I will say, I try to hold off for everything that has to be done on social media until the last 10 minutes of my power hour, because what happens, inevitably, you're like, oh, I'm just going to go post on my VIP page or my team page. And you get on to do that, and then what happens? You're like scrolling the news feed. Tips for that, which I learned from my dear friend Courtney Shepard, is Google Chrome. So if you have the Chrome browser on your computer, or I don't know if it works on your phone too, I haven't tried it on my phone, has an extension called Kill the Newsfeed, and it kills the Facebook newsfeed. So you get on and you can see your groups and you can see the pages and whatever, but you can't see the newsfeed, and it's fantastic. So that is a good tip. But if you can, wait until your last 10 minutes to do your social media work. These would be things like editing any pictures you're getting ready to post, working on the copy that you're writing that you're putting with that post, any flyers that you're making, anything like that. This would also be the time that you would want to post and then engage. It's very important right now that when you're posting that you're staying around to engage in the conversation. Specifically on Facebook. Facebook is honoring and showing posts that are creating engagement, creating a conversation between the poster and the, consumer of that post. So anything that you can do to engage is important. So it's not like you just want people to respond, you actually want to engage with their responses. The more that happens, the higher up your post gets put in the algorithm or whatever. I'm sure saying the higher up, I'm sure that didn't even make sense, but you know what I mean. Okay. This would also be a time to work on your stories. So like if you're doing Instagram stories for your business page, or you're working on the highlights of your Instagram stories, this would be a good time to do that at the last 10 minutes of your power hour. This is also a time where you could set aside to respond to messages on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, whatever you're using for your social media platforms. Great time to answer and respond. Those are the same things, right? To answer, to check and respond messages. And then the other thing I would say for this last 10 minutes, if you don't have anything to post that day, or you've already done that for the day, this would be a really good time to work on clarifying your messaging. So what is the message that I'm putting out about what I'm selling or what I want people to do for me? Is that messaging clear? Am I clear about the product and how I want them to use it? Does that make sense? So it's really important that you're always working on clarifying and sort of narrowing your message so that it's really easy for everybody to understand. What is it that we do? If you look on my Instagram page, my handle is Life Should Smell Good, and my little bio says something to the effect of, we help everything in your life smell better because so you won't be the smelly friend, and because life should smell good. It's a very clear and simple message, and everything that I post, I try to align with that message. So this is a good time to work on clarifying your message. Okay, cool. So is this helpful? I don't know if you've ever heard of the Power Hour or if you've ever done anything like this. Now, obviously, this can be customized however you want. If you wanted to get super specific and go in and like absolutely outline, this is what I'm doing every time I sit down for when it comes to sales. This is what I'm doing for those 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes when I work on team connection, this is exactly what I'm doing. The next 10 minutes when I am working on list building or connecting with potential recruits, this is what I'm doing. The fourth increment of 10 minutes when I'm working on list building, this is what I'm doing. Then personal growth, then social media. You get it, right? We're breaking it down into chunks. The other thing I love about this is if you only get down, like you end up with 20 minutes and you only get 20 minutes done. At least I have 20 minutes done, and I know that I've done those first 2 parts of my business, and then I have another 40 minutes left in the day that I can knock out a 10-minute chunk at a time until my Power Hour is completely done. So let's see. So helpful, so helpful. Okay, good. Jessica says, do you know of an app we can prepare posts for Instagram and Facebook in advance to keep from having to always be present? Yes. So actually, Jessica, if you have a Facebook business page, you can schedule your posts on Facebook when you want them to be posted. So when you're operating from a Facebook business page, you can already do that. Instagram right now, right? You still can't schedule posts. I use an app called Plann, P-L-A-N-N. I love it. It works well for me, but it allows me to plan out, for one, what my Instagram feed's going to look like, because that matters a little bit more. And when it comes to Instagram is how it's actually all going to look together. And then I can schedule when I want them to be posted, and it sends me a reminder that it's time to post. So that might be an idea, but I really do like it. The other thing about being present on social media is that at the end of the day, you do want to be engaged when you post. So I think when it comes to best practices around social media, that you are sitting down to post and engage at a time when you can devote to posting and engaging. If you really want, now of course you can always post and let it be, but you're not going to probably see the same amount of traction as you would if you are being more intentional about engaging. So something to think about. I'm so glad that you feel clear about your Power Hour, Courtney. That's fantastic. Okay. Okay, Kelsey says she uses Ripple. Kelsey, that's fantastic. R-I-P-L. I've never heard of it, but I'm sure it's fantastic. There are so many great tools out there, you guys. Yep. Yes, and Violet pointed out you can schedule in your VIP groups also. So if you have a group where you have all your customers together and that's where you're really connecting with them, you can schedule inside that group as well. So if you wanted to set up schedule, the same is true for your team page. If you wanted to schedule posts for your team page, maybe ideas or recognition, and you didn't want to do it every single day, you can schedule those out, and that's another really great idea. Okay, thanks for sharing, y'all. Okay. Brad says PhotoFly is awesome. I don't know anything about it, but that sounds like a great, see, there's so many great tools. We should do a whole episode on just tools like that would help your business, right? So Kelsey says Ripple will post to Instagram, Facebook, your Facebook groups and pages, and you can schedule them, and even gives you the analytics where we're getting the most interaction. That's really cool. Well, you might have to check that out. RIPL, Ripple. Okay, cool. Unfold app for IG stories. I know nothing about this. Look at all the things you're teaching me. Kelsey says Ripple will even post to your Twitter account. How do you get people to interact more? So this is a good question, Megan. How do I get people to interact more on social media? For one, you've got to be adding value. A lot of times, if you're not seeing a ton of interaction, first of all, you're only being shown, people are only being shown, only part of the people who follow you are even being shown your posts. So the way that you increase those algorithms and increase the way you're being seen is by creating meaningful conversation. So maybe that is just a plain old interaction with your customers, with your team members, whatever that looks like. But so much of it is you adding value and asking for things. Are you educating? Are you adding value? Or are you just constantly pushing sales? It's not going to work well for you if you're just constantly pushing sales. People are so over it. They're so over being sold. They're so over seeing flyers. Now, they want to see things that you have to sell, yes, but you want to make sure that you are doing more than just selling product, but that you're sharing and in an authentic way that's engaging to people. Megan, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you go delve through some of the Build Your Tribe podcast episodes. There are some fantastic tips about social media engagement. So sorry, I'm checking on y'all's messages. Okay. Building relationships, Beverly. Yes, you are so right. It really is all about building relationships. So that's all I have for y'all tonight. That was the Power Hour in less than an hour, and I hope that it was helpful. So we weren't on YouTube tonight, but we will post this video to YouTube. It will be available here to watch back on Facebook, and on Instagram, it'll be available for 24 hours live. And if you can't find it there, you can go find it on YouTube, or you can find it on Facebook. I will take some of the notes from today. Oh, I was going to write down these other apps that I'm gonna reference these also in the blog post for tomorrow. So that way you can go check it all out. There is an app for podcast called the Podcast app. I think on an Android it's called, somebody tell me. How do you listen to podcasts on the Android? I can't remember. Someone's going to tell you in a minute. But I know that if you have an iPhone, it's just the Podcast app. But there's something else. There's another way to listen to podcasts, and I'm not sure what it is. No, I'm hoping one of you does. I will look it up. Nope, nobody knows. Look up. I know my friend who used to have a podcast will know. Look up a podcast ways to listen. Okay, I will link that in the blog for tomorrow too. So I hope that's how Stitcher. Yes, that's what it's called. Thank y'all. It's just a delay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Y'all are the best. All right, so next week we'll be back live at 8 o'clock Central Time again, and we have more to talk about, so much more. In the coming weeks, we are going to revisit the power of a dream again and why it's so, so important that you know why you're doing what you're doing, why you're working so smart and working on building a profit and what you plan to do with it. Thanks for being here. Love y'all. And I cannot wait to talk to you next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. See you later.